Let me start by saying something that most people won't tell you. Women are not confusing. I know. That probably sounds like the most controversial thing you've heard all week. But stay with me, because by the time you finish watching this video, I genuinely believe you're going to look back at every interaction you've ever had with a woman you liked. And so many things are going to suddenly click into place. My name is Sophia, and today I want to have a real conversation with you. Not a surface level, here are 10 signs she likes you kind of conversation. Not a list, not a checklist. A real, honest, emotionally raw conversation about what's actually happening inside a woman's mind when she's falling for someone. And more importantly, how that quietly, beautifully, sometimes awkwardly spills out into her behavior. Because here's the truth. Women don't come with instruction manuals, but we do come with patterns. And once you understand the why behind those patterns, once you understand the emotion driving the behavior, everything changes. So let's get into it. The texting chapter, where feelings hide between the lines. Let's start with texting, because honestly, for a lot of relationships today, this is where everything begins. This is the first real window into someone's interest, and most people don't know how to read it. When a woman likes you, truly, genuinely likes you, texting stops being a chore. It becomes something she looks forward to. Her phone buzzes, she sees your name, and something shifts in her chest. That shift, it shows up in how she responds to you. First, think about response time. Now, I'm not going to tell you that she'll always reply in 30 seconds because life is real. Women have jobs, responsibilities, social lives, moments where they're genuinely unavailable. That's normal, but pay attention to the pattern. If she's consistently responding within a reasonable window, if she's not leaving you on read for hours and hours without any acknowledgement, that means you're on her mind. You're a priority. Not because she's desperate or clingy, but because when we like someone, we want to be present in the conversation. Compare that to how she texts someone she's not interested in. The energy is completely different. Replies stretch from hours to days. Messages shrink to one word. Ha ha ha. Oh, yeah. Those aren't typos. That's emotional distance being communicated in the only language she feels comfortable using when she doesn't want to hurt your feelings, but also doesn't want to lead you on. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part most men miss completely. It's not just about how fast she replies, it's about the quality of what she says. When a woman is into you, her messages have substance. She's not just answering your questions, she's adding to the conversation. She's asking you things back. She's curious about you. She remembers something you mentioned 2 days ago and brings it up. She's building something with you, one message at a time, even if she doesn't consciously realize she's doing it. She'll also start showing you more of who she is. The humor comes out, the sarcasm, the playfulness, the little jokes that feel like inside secrets just between the two of you. She might poke fun at you in that soft, affectionate way that doesn't feel like teasing. It feels like intimacy, because it is. Playful banter is how women who are emotionally intelligent flirt. It's how they say, I'm comfortable enough with you to be silly, and I like you enough to want to make you laugh. And yes, the emojis matter. I know some people roll their eyes at this, but pay attention. A wink, a hard eyes, a little flame. These aren't accidents. Nobody accidentally sends a winking face. Those are deliberate, tiny signals that she's conscious of how she's coming across to you, and she wants you to feel something when you read her message. Now, there's another layer here that's worth talking about. Some women are naturally more calculated when they're texting someone they really like, not because they're playing games, but because they care so much about the impression they're making that they think before they type. She might take a little longer to respond, not because she's busy, but because she genuinely wants to say the right thing. She's crafting. She's putting thought into it. And paradoxically, that extra effort is one of the most honest signs of real interest. On the flip side, and this one stings a little, if a woman is texting you mostly late at night, after a night out, with surface level messages like, hey, what's up, or you awake, without any real depth or intention behind it, that's not attraction. That's boredom looking for company. Real interest shows up in the daylight. Real interest asks questions. Real interest makes plans. Speaking of plans, this is one of the clearest signals of all. When a woman likes you, she'll find ways to create opportunities to see you. She'll suggest things. She'll be the one to say, "We should do this," or "You should come to that." She's not waiting around hoping you figure it out. She's quietly, sometimes not so quietly, engineering a situation where she gets to be near you. Pay attention to that. A woman who wants to make time for you will make time for you. The social media chapter, digital breadcrumbs, she leaves for you. Social media is fascinating because it's become this whole secondary language of attraction that nobody ever really talks about directly. When a woman is into someone, her social media behavior changes around them. It becomes intentional, it becomes pointed, and if you know what to look for, it's actually one of the clearest windows into her feelings. Because social media doesn't have the pressure of face-to-face interaction. There's a screen between you. That screen gives her just enough courage to say things she might not say out loud. The first thing to pay attention to is story responses. Because here's the thing, everyone can like a photo. Liking a photo requires almost zero emotional investment. But responding to a story, that's a choice. That's her choosing to open a conversation with you. She saw something you posted, felt something, and decided to reach out and tell you. That is not nothing. That is actually something. And watch how she responds. If she's interested, it won't just be a fire emoji and nothing else, though even that is a sign. She'll add something, a comment, a question, a joke. She's turning a passive interaction into an actual conversation because she wants to talk to you. She's using your story as an excuse to be in your inbox, and honestly, that's adorable. Let her. If she's liking multiple posts in a row, especially older ones, which means she's been scrolling through your profile, that's not an accident either. That's her telling you, without words, "I've been looking at you." But when a woman is not interested, even the most charming DM gets left on scene. No response. Maybe a dry thanks if she's feeling polite. The digital silence is deafening when it's intentional. And deep down, most people can tell the difference between someone who's genuinely busy and someone who's choosing not to engage. The key with social media is this: reciprocation and initiation. Is she responding to your stuff? Is she sometimes the one starting the conversation? Is there a back and forth that builds rather than fizzles? Those patterns tell you more than any single message ever could. The in-person chapter, her body never lies. Now we're getting to the heart of it, because as revealing as texting and social media can be, nothing compares to what happens when two people are in the same physical space and there's genuine attraction in the air. Let's talk about what happens at a social setting. A party, a bar, a concert, somewhere with noise and movement and people and energy, because this environment strips away all the calculated behavior. You can't overthink your body language in real time. You can't draft and redraft what your eyes are saying. In a room full of people, how a woman moves around you, toward you, or away from you, that tells the whole story. The first thing, eye contact. This one is ancient and it is timeless. When a woman finds you attractive from across a room, her eyes will find you and they'll come back. It won't be a stare, it's not meant to be obvious, but it'll be deliberate. A glance that holds for just a beat longer than it needs to, maybe followed by a small smile before she looks away. That look is an invitation. It's her saying, "I see you. Come find out if I'm worth talking to." What happens next is about proximity. A woman who is interested will find ways to get physically closer to you. She'll navigate toward the same corner of the room. She'll end up at the bar right next to you. She'll accidentally bump into you. These are not coincidences. She's engineering closeness, because closeness is what she wants. She wants to be near you. She wants to be in your orbit. Pay attention to where she positions herself in a crowded room. And once you're actually talking, watch her body. Is she turned towards you fully like you're the only person in the room? Or is she angled away, one foot pointed at the exit, eyes scanning for her friends? Open body language, facing you, relaxed shoulders, uncrossed arms, is one of the most genuine signs of emotional openness. She's not protecting herself from you. She's welcoming you in. Then there's touch. When a woman reaches out and touches your arm because you said something funny, when she leans into your shoulder, when that physical contact starts happening naturally and comfortably, pay attention to that. Touch is deeply intimate. We don't touch people we're indifferent to. We touch people we want to be closer to. Even the smallest, most casual touch carries emotional weight if it's coming from a place of real interest. And her laugh, God, pay attention to her laugh. Not the polite, haha, that's nice laugh. The real one. The one that catches her off guard. The one that makes her cover her mouth or lean back or put her hand on your arm. When you make a woman genuinely laugh and she's genuinely delighted by your presence, that feeling radiates. You can feel it, and so can everyone else in the room. Now contrast all of that with what it looks like when she's not interested. One word answers, eyes wandering, body turned slightly away. Short responses that don't invite continuation. She'll still be polite, most women are, but the energy is contained. She's not expanding toward you. She's not letting you in. And eventually, she'll find a graceful exit. Bathroom, friends, suddenly very interested in what's happening at the other side of the room. That's not rejection, by the way. That's just honesty without cruelty. Learn to read it without taking it personally, and you'll save yourself so much unnecessary pain. The gym chapter, the most misunderstood setting of all okay. Let's talk about the gym because this one needs to be handled with real care and honesty, and I don't think enough people talk about it truthfully. The gym is a deeply personal space for most women. It's one of the few places where we're not on. We're not dressed to impress. We're sweaty and focused and running on nothing but a pre-workout and sheer willpower. It's a sanctuary. And when that sanctuary gets disrupted, especially repeatedly by men who can't read the room, it stops feeling safe. Some women have literally changed gyms because of persistent, unwanted attention. That is not dramatic. That is a real consequence of real behavior. So if you have a gym crush, and come on, we all know how the gym can feel sometimes, here is the most important thing I can tell you. Read the energy before you do anything else. Is she in the zone, headphones in, eyes forward, moving with purpose? That's not an invitation for conversation. That's someone doing exactly what she came here to do. Respect that. But is she making eye contact across the room? Is she smiling when you catch each other's glance at the water fountain? Is the energy between you unmistakably warm, even in silence? Then there might be something worth exploring, but gently, briefly, and respectfully. The best approach, if there's genuine mutual energy, is to keep it simple and get out. You're not trying to have a full conversation mid-set. A genuine compliment, a short introduction, hey, I'd love to grab a coffee sometime. That's enough. That's actually perfect. What kills it is the lingering, the hovering, the talking and talking and talking while she's clearly trying to finish her workout. Less is always more in this setting. And if she's interested, you'll know. She'll smile in a way that reaches her eyes. She'll engage, even briefly. She won't reach for her headphones the moment you open your mouth. She might even be the one to catch your eye first, because women who are interested in someone at the gym absolutely notice them, even if they don't say anything for weeks. The friend group chapter, the sweetest and most complicated one. Now, this is the one that makes everyone a little nervous. Because the friend group is where feelings get complicated fast and where the stakes suddenly feel so much higher than a stranger at a bar. When a woman in your friend group starts liking you as more than a friend, the shift is subtle at first. You might not even notice it right away, but she does. She's hyper aware of it. And slowly, quietly, her behavior around you starts to change. She'll start looking for one-on-one time, not always the whole group, specifically you. Hey, do you want to grab coffee? I'm going to see that film. Want to come? Small, low-pressure invitations that separate you from the pack just enough to create space for something more personal to grow. She'll text you things she doesn't text others in the group. Something that made her think of you specifically. A funny meme that aligns with an inside joke only you two share. A photo of something she knows you'd appreciate. These are not group chat moments. These are personal. And she chose to send them to you specifically. Her body language in group settings will start shifting toward you even when you're not talking. She'll sit closer. She'll catch your eye when something funny happens, even before she looks at anyone else. You'll become her silent audience, her quiet anchor in a crowded room. And here's the most honest thing I can say about this. It's beautiful and it's terrifying, and it deserves to be handled with so much care because the friendship is real. The foundation of trust and shared history is real. And the risk of losing that keeps so many people silent far longer than they should be. But if you feel it, if there's something there that goes beyond friendship, something that sits differently in your chest when you're around her, don't ignore it forever. Pick a quiet moment. Be honest. Be kind. Lead with your feelings without making her feel ambushed, and be prepared, genuinely prepared for any answer she gives you, because whatever she says deserves to be respected. The first date chapter, where everything becomes clear. First dates are a beautiful, terrifying, wonderful mess. And if you go into them paying attention to the right things rather than performing the right things, they'll tell you everything you need to know. When a woman is genuinely into you on a first date, her engagement is the tell. She's not on her phone. She's not scanning the room. Her attention is on you. And attention, real voluntary human attention, is one of the most valuable things a person can give. If she's giving you hers, receive it with gratitude. She'll ask you questions. Real questions, not the obligatory first date interview questions that you ask because silence feels uncomfortable. She'll be curious about who you actually are as a person. She'll remember what you said 5 minutes ago and connect it to something she's telling you now. She's building a picture of you because she wants to know you. She'll laugh easily, naturally, often. Not because you're the funniest person alive, but because her guard is down and she's happy to be there. Genuine laughter on a first date is one of the warmest signals there is. Her body will lean toward you. Across a table, across a bar, she'll close the distance instinctively because proximity feels good when you're with someone you're excited about. And at the end of the date, she'll let you know she had a good time in a way that means something. Not a polite, closed off, thanks, this was nice. A genuine, I'd love to do this again. Either in words or in the way she texts you an hour later to say she had fun. But if she's not feeling it, the energy is quieter. She's still polite. Because most women are inherently kind even when they're not interested. But there's a flatness to it. Shorter answers, less eye contact. A sense that she's already mentally calculating how much longer the evening needs to be before she can go home. And when it ends, she'll let it end cleanly, without setting anything up for the future. Neither of these outcomes is a catastrophe. A no is just a no. A yes is a beginning. Both are honest. Both deserve to be received gracefully. The part nobody talks about, what this all actually means. Here's what I really want you to take away from everything I've shared today. Attraction is not a mystery. It's communication, just not always verbal. It lives in the extra sentence at the end of a text, in the story response she didn't have to send, in the way she moves across a room, in the laugh that catches her off guard, in the coffee invitation that could have gone to anyone but went to you. Most of the signals women send are genuine. They're not calculated to confuse you. They're not a test. They're simply the quiet, sometimes shy, sometimes bold, always human way that feelings find their way out of someone's chest and into the world. Your job is simply to be present enough and emotionally aware enough to notice them. And if you're not sure, if you've seen some of these signs but you're still not certain, then be brave, be kind, be honest about your own feelings in a way that gives her the space to be honest about hers. Because uncertainty, handled with grace, is always better than silence that leaves two people wondering what could have been. You deserve clarity. She deserves respect. And every good love story starts with someone being just a little bit brave. I'm Sophia, and I'll see you in the next one.